Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Mark. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Commentaries, reviews, topics, reactions, re-reviews, randomness, out of blueness, wherever it may be. And I will try to get to it as soon as I can. And this is a commentary request for the theatrical cut of Jingle All the Way. I remember the last time I saw this film, it was the extended cut, but this is the theatrical cut, which is an hour, 29 minutes, and 29 seconds. So, I have a pause at the beginning, come back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And here we have the 20th Century Fox logo, which we will never see again because Disney bought it because they're pieces of shit. Granted, Fox was fucking up too, but I still don't like the fact that Disney bought them. And now, ooh, there's going to be an Alien movie on Hulu by the director of Evil Dead remake. Great. Be another piece of crap. 1492. That's how many bad films Disney has made lately. 1492. And then explosion, and we got Richard Mall quickly there as our bad guy in this TV show. Always I see Richard Mall. 20th Century Fox presents. Again, this is for syncing. And a 1492 picture. Alright. Of course, again, this is easily based on like Power Rangers. I don't see how it could not be. You know, that type of thing. Brian Levant. This director, before this, did stuff like Beethoven, which was cool. But then afterward, did films like The Spy Next Door and A Christmas Story 2. I would say this is easily the director's best movie. Arnold and Sinbad and the plot, I think, definitely helped out those. Helped for that reason. Jingle All the Way came out around 1996 or so. No, 97. It didn't do well. It did not do well at all. It was a complete flop, which is a shame because I don't think it was that bad of a movie. I always enjoyed this film. I always thought it was a fun movie. I always thought that it was a nice take on consumerism, but at the same time being a family film. Arnold, I thought, was having a ball. And it was relatable because I've worked in retail, and I know how crazy it could be, and the rush of getting stuff for Christmas. November 1996 is when it came out. And that's Harvey Korman there as the president. Harvey Korman, he was in Blazing Saddles, Carol Burnett Show, tons of other stuff. And yes, that little boy is Jake Lloyd. I know he went through a lot of bad stuff because of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. He didn't deserve that. I do think he was bad, though. I do think he was a bad actor. I think he was a bad child actor. I don't think he's tolerable, but I don't think he's good. And that's not me trying to be mean, it's me being honest. I think I blame it on the directors and the parents and such going, hey, this kid doesn't fit, and there were better. He didn't deserve all the shit he got. Bullying, at school harassment because of the Phantom Menace, because people made fun of him, people made fun of the movie. I know he did some criminal stuff. I think at one point Jake Lloyd had like a schizophrenic diagnosis, which was sad. I think something about he was officially diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I feel bad for that, man. I do. The worst is just go, hey, I didn't care for his performance. and that's it. I didn't think he was a great child actor, but there's a lot of kids who were not great child actors. There were some who were good. The kids in the Goonies, they did a good job. The one kid, Jonathan Brandis, I thought he did a good job. And Sidekicks with Chuck Norris, among others. And this, not so much. But yeah, it's sad about what happened with Jake Lloyd. He didn't deserve that shit. He didn't deserve that. Now, the wife is played by Rita Wilson. She was in stuff like Sleepless in Seattle, and I think she did a few other films with Tom Hanks, because isn't she Tom Hanks' wife? Sorry, not. Yeah, she's married to Tom Hanks, which is why. Ah, yes, Phil Hartman. Rest in peace, Phil Hartman. And if you hear like a background hum, it's because I have my computer here just in case. Certain stuff, but there's Arnold thinking he can get home. This is a time in Arnold's career where the films were not making a whole lot of money. He wasn't as much of a bankable box office star as in the past. I mean, he had done Last Action Hero, it didn't do well. Then he did True Lies, and that did do well, and people thought, okay, he's back up on top. And then 96 he did Eraser, and this film. Now, Eraser is a fun movie. I think it did okay, but because it had such a big budget, it maybe broke even, or maybe made a little bit of profit, but it's not, considered a blockbuster compared to Arnold. It's a great movie. I love Eraser, but it went over budget among other stuff, and then you had this film that did not do well at all. I mean, just to look real quick, it made, let me get the exact figures. $12 million the first weekend. The weekend Star Trek First Contact, Space Jam, and Ransom. It's like, it made $129 million worldwide. Okay, but what did it make in the U.S.? And yes, there was a sequel to this with Larry the fucking Cable Guy. So, I mean, the fact that you go from that to Larry the Cable Guy is pretty ridiculous. Yeah, it doesn't say how much it made in the U.S., but I do remember it not doing that well. All the films the director has done, Problem Child 2, Beethoven, The Flintstones with John Goodman, then this movie, The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas, Snow Dogs, Are We There Yet, Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins, The Spy Next Door with Jackie Chan, Scooby-Doo Curse of the Lake Monster. Those are those direct-to-video live-action prequels of Scooby-Doo. The Mystery Begins and Curse of the Lake Monster. A Christmas Story 2 and Match 2 White House Hero. White House Hero, what? Does the dog kill terrorists like Die Hard that took over the White House? Sequel to White House Down. But I think at one point, I mean, Chris Columbus produced it. Guy who helped make Home Alone. I think at the time, I guess at the time, Arnold was in talks of doing the Planet of the Apes remake, and that didn't do well. So like, okay, how about Jingle All the Way? This guy's done comedy. I guess there were talks of Joe Pesci in the role that Sinbad got, but Sinbad did get it. apparently a lot of the talk between Arnold and Sinbad were a bit of improv, which is actually that's some of the better parts of the movie. So yeah, you have the typical cliche. You have the father who is a workaholic. He's not spending enough time with his kid. We've seen that time and time again. I mean, hell, Eddie Murphy's done like 5 movies dealing with that. The workaholic who doesn't have enough time for his family, whether it be A Haunted Mansion, whether it be Imagine That, whether it be A Thousand Words. Daddy Daycare, I thought that was actually a decent film. You know, it's funny, I'm watching this, it's ironic because I see all this Marvel stuff and now they own by Disney, and Marvel is with Disney. Because you see like the Captain America and the wide shot on the, there you go, the Captain America on the wall, and there's like Spider-Man stuff on the bedspread. There's an Incredible Hulk mask. So Fox was able to get that at the time, but I did just funny because now Marvel and Fox are in this, under the same Disney belt. Belt because they're sucking Disney's Mickey Mouse's dick. See, I think Arnold does a good job. Arnold having fun, being goofy, you're trying to be a good father. And I don't care for what Arnold is acting like nowadays. The stuff he says, the stuff he tweets about, I don't really care about that at all. But I grew up with Arnold. I grew up with all those guys: Stallone, Van Damme, early good Steven Seagal, Dolph Lundgren, and Arnold. You're growing up with Predator, growing up with Commando, growing up with The Running Man. End of Days I saw in the theater in 1999. Loved it. Still love it. And Arnold worked well in comedy. Twins, Kindergarten Cop. And this one I thought he did just as good of a job, and he's one of the reasons why I do enjoy the film. And it didn't. It seemed like Arnold was into it because I think Arnold is a father. He was getting into being a father. There's not a lot of films he got to play a father and all the hijinks in order to keep your child happy. And like I said, I think a lot of Arnold line readings still made me chuckle and laugh. Like even this bit here with the push in and Arnold's face like the doll. Of course he's lying his ass off. And as much as I love Stallone, I do think Arnold did do a better job picking his comedy roles. While I like Oscar with Sylvester Stallone, I think that's a fun one. Stop Where My Mind Will Shoot. I don't hate it like other people did, but it's nowhere near up to these ones Arnold did. And I will say Arnold at that time knew who he was as a commodity. He knew what he was as a star. he kind of played to his strengths, so to speak. It's like, what do the audience want? If I'm going to do a comedy, I have to be goofy and silly. So what about me as a teacher? But I'm still a cop. What about me? I'm twins, but my twin is Danny DeVito. Or he knew how to play to his strengths of big guns, big action, one-man army. He kind of knew that a good chunk of the audience wanted to see that. He kept doing that for quite a bit. And this is kind of sadly, this timeline, the beginning of the end of his career, meaning, like I said, True Lies was a hit. Eraser did alright business. This didn't do well. And then 1997, Batman and Robin. Maybe it made a little bit of money, but it was looked at as an embarrassment. Then you had his heart condition, heart attack, heart surgery he had to deal with. Then End of Days, 99, which I love. That's actually in my top 5 favorite Arnold films. I love End of Days. That was a complete flop. Sixth Day, I don't mind that film. That didn't do anything. Terminator 3 made a bit of money, but it was kind of like, kind of a mediocre response. And then he went into politics. That reindeer, there's actually some pretty good practical later on when Arnold has his fight with it. It's pretty decent animatronic effects on it. Rather good. And of course, Phil Hartman, I should mention. Phil Hartman, greatly missed. Did a wonderful job on Saturday Night Live. I didn't watch a lot of Saturday Night Live, but I would see clips and bits and pieces, and he always worked out very well. And even in movies, like he was in, even like Small Soldiers, he did a pretty good job in. I'm trying to think, like, what. He was a voice on The Simpsons. He did some very nice work. I'm Troy McClure. You may have seen me in films like blah 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 and blah blah blah. He was a great voice on The Simpsons. Like, he was trying to play the different character, trying to sell the monorail to the town. See, I don't know, just these simple line readings. 2 minutes? Cruise of 2 minutes? You're not there, cruise of 2 minutes. Let's see, he was... That's right, he was in Jumpin' Jack Flash as one of the workers with Whoopi Goldberg. A Blind Date he was in with Bruce Willis. Yes, he was the officer doing the stand-up in Loaded Weapon 1. And a bit part. Coneheads. Greedy with Michael J. Fox. That's a film I do enjoy. This film. Small Soldiers is one of the last films he was in. But yeah, Coneheads, Jumpin' Jack Flash. And it's a lot of his TV work. And Troy McClure or the lawyer Lionel Hutz. Of course, there's Sinbad, who was mainly known as a stand-up comedian. And he did do a couple films, but those films didn't really lead to much. He was in, First Kid. I remember he was in this TV movie called The Charity Kid with Burt Reynolds. And, oh yeah, he was in Meteor Man. Oh yeah, he was also in Coneheads, that's right. Yeah, First Kid. He was in Good Burger. Yeah, First Kid and House Guest are the two films that, they tried to make him a star and it didn't quite work out. Wasn't House Guest with Phil Hartman? So he worked with Phil Hartman quite a bit. Coneheads, House Guest, in this movie, although him and Phil Hartman don't really have any scenes here. And this thing, I love all this craziness with the retail business, because If you ever worked Black Friday, this is more truthful than you think. It's sort of this. It's actually not a bad story where you think you can buy love with this doll, and then some of the critics attacked it for that. Oh, this merchandise and materialism, and I'm like, that's the gist of the movie, though. The message of the movie is that doesn't matter at the end of the day. That's not what's important. That's why the little kid gives the doll to this guy who wants it. Like, you need it more than me. My family is what matters to me more. Why do I need a turbo doll? I got the real man. My dad's the real turbo man. It's family that matters more, not the materialism. Keeping your promises, whatever they may be. Yeah, that'll shut you up. Where's your Christmas spirit? That's better. See, Arnold went with it and he knew it, and he knew doing stuff like that. Like, let's not just. I'm a pretty strong, muscled guy. Let's not forget that. Let's not ignore that. But also, people you enjoy seem like they're having fun becomes infectious. So, like Arnold doing the remote control, smiling with glee, flips him. Yeah! Again, that's. Oh, poor baby. And he's laughing. That's infectious. Again, guys I grow with, action stars in the light that look like they're having fun. And Arnold, whatever he feels about the film today, it looks like he's having fun. And yeah, I'm watching theatrical cut. I don't remember what's all different from the extended cut, but lo and behold, on the DVD is both cuts of the film. Why more studios can't do that? Well, I don't have the film on Blu-ray, so I don't know if the Blu-ray has both cuts. But I find it weird that there's many other DVDs that will have both cuts of a film, but Blu-rays don't. Now I'm nostalgic. I'm looking at some of the action figures. Like I saw Hercules. I remember that. Now, montage. Which, again, they don't do a whole lot of montage. It's just that's looked at and frowned upon as, oh, let's make fun of it because montage is so old hat. But there's a reason why montages are used, and I'm a sucker for them. Because there's different ways you can edit it. It's almost like a mini music video if you edit it right, and instead of just long, overdrawn dialogue, you could tell the story on a visual medium in a quick succession. And this Turbo Man is kind of, Cabbage Patch Kids at one point, again, Power Rangers, you say Ninja Turtles, stuff that's popular and is the fad of the moment, or however you want to put it. And Phil Hartman trying to pick up this guy's wife. Just the character he plays, such a scumbag. But Phil Hartman plays with such glee and smiles, and as if nothing he's doing is wrong. Yeah, go take a shower. Yeah, you just go take a shower, and I could touch you right here, and such a fucking. The character's such a creep. But 1996 was a pretty good year for movies. I mean, when you look back on the year 1996, I mean, you get stuff like Independence Day, Twister, Okay, wait a minute. This. Who told you to eat my cookies? Well, she's in the shower. I could go get her right now. No. On your way out, just tell her I will be a few minutes, but she should wait. Put that cookie down now. Bullshit, all of it. I can't do an Arnold impression. Everyone else can. It's bullshit. But like I said, in 1996, you had so many films like Independence Day, Twister, From Dusk Till Dawn, Long Kiss Goodnight, Broken Arrow, Mission Impossible. Steven Seagal had The Glamour Man. Stallone had Daylight. Arnold had Eraser and Jingle All the Way. You had The Rock, the Michael Bay film, The Rock. I mean, probably one of my favorite years for movies. Because I'm like, wow, like, okay, Van Damme did a film called Maximum Risk. I liked that film. Seagal did The Glamour Man. I liked that one. Arnold did Eraser and Jingle All the Way. I liked both of them. Stallone did Daylight, which Arnold won that round because Daylight didn't do anything. Daylight was a bomb. At least Eraser made a little bit of money, and this, didn't do that well. But I think Daylight did worse, sadly. In a way, Sinbad's character kind of, he's a character that no matter what you say, he always thinks you're racist, and in a way, that's, if you did the same thing today, I think there'd be people that would get mad and upset and be like, oh, that's so, they'd probably call the fucking film racist. How could you have Sinbad play this type of character and say this type of thing? Because it's the character. And there are people that do that. Hate to be bearer of bad news on both and all sides. And this cop that he keeps accidentally fucking up his motorcycle. The Mall of America. So, it does take place in Minnesota. I went to the Mall of America, sadly, only one time. And that was when I was like 10 years old or maybe younger. But I don't even know how and what the Mall of America is nowadays, since malls are kind of a dead thing. Is Mall of America even a thing? I mean, I hate to say it. I'm kind of like curious now about Mall of America, how it is nowadays. But yeah, I guess it's still around. But I mean, malls are becoming such a dead site. Bloomington OK's aid for Mall of America water park. Yeah, so there's this frenzy, complete utter frenzy to get this stuff. And that's the thing, is that for a comedy, you take something, you over-exaggerate it. And that's fine. The people biting Arnold's hand. And then when Arnold fucking tells on him, he got two. Just wait. Hiratu! 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 Get him! Hiratu! Yeah, I guess Mall of America is still a thing, which is nice. It's nice that something's... Amazon plans to close physical bookstores and 4-star retail shops. Yeah. I mean, can't say I'm surprised. And that's the other thing, like, this is a comedy, but it doesn't have to deal with fart jokes and shit jokes and piss jokes. It's not like, oh, this kid farts in Arnold's face, or like this kid with the little ball that he's trying to get, he picks the kid up and the kid farts, or the kid pisses on his face. Nowadays, a comedy would do that, like pick the kid up and something will fall down. That's nice. That's fine. Don't need that to happen. It's not needed, not wanted for it to happen. Like sometimes, like ease up on it. Not every one of those fucking things need to happen, you know. Just saying is saying. I'm surprised Arnold can fit through all this shit. Because they seem just big enough to fit a fucking little kid in. And, you know, you can understand the parents from the outside look at this going, what the hell is this guy doing? He's grabbing the kid and grabbing the hand. And so, like, this works because it's the parents doing their jobs well, but it's this miscommunication, and they just beat the ever-loving fuck out of Arnold. Beat the ever-loving fuck. You see it hits him and even trips. They're beating the shit out of him. I'm not the pervert. And here's James Belushi. It's a Red Heat reunion, man. A Red Heat reunion. I'm not going to sit on your lap. But yeah, James Belushi, always enjoyed him as an actor. Worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Red Heat, which is a fun buddy cop film. That's a fun one that a lot of people don't talk about nowadays. But yeah, I think like the only buddy cop film he did, from what I remember. And yeah, he did a good job with it. And he was in The Principal. That's a good one with him and Louis Gossett Jr. He was in K9, which I also enjoyed. He was in According to Jim, this TV show that lasted quite a bit of years. And I'm trying to remember, you know, Jim Belushi, James Belushi, however you want to say it. He was in Thief, Michael Mann film. He had a bit role in Little Shop of Horrors, Real Men with John Ritter, Who's Harry Crumb. He was in I would say the films I liked him the most was K9, Red Heat. Those are the ones that come to mind. Real Men was good. And done a lot of voice work. The Mighty Ducks, Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King, Hey Arnold, Gargoyles. I didn't know he did a voice in Gargoyles. Yeah, if I have a favorite, it would be K9, The Principal, and Red Heat. My 3 favorite roles of his. And this whole weird bit of this just Santa shop that's just into these counterfeit shit. Now, why they all have to wear Santa outfits, I don't know. I guess, hey, you need a costume, so. But, yeah, whatever. Well, you're doing it for money, too, but also for the kids. I think in the extended cut, this stuff is extended. I think in the extended cut, there's like a musical where Belushi starts singing and the others start singing. Which I. There's so many times they do these extended comedy cuts that really are not better. Like Stripes, the extended cut. I think the theatrical was better. Friday, the extended cut. I think the original was better. Jingle All the Way, the extended cut. I think the theatrical cut is better. I didn't know Turbo Man was Spanish. Screw you! What do you do, explode? Why would you want to fuck over a guy that's as big as Arnold? Where's right? You guys are con men. And maybe people thought, well, this seems like it's Arnold, so we need to get a bit of an action scene where he fights. But you know what? I'm fine with it. It's a fun, goofy, but entertaining scene where you just knocking all these fucking Santa men out. There you go. And why you have a kung fu, nunchuck, yeah, is you either are following along with the over the top silliness or not. There you go. Go to sleep. Get out of my face. There you go. Now this big guy is Paul Wright. Paul White is, and that's White with a W, the Giant in WCW, and he was the Big Show in WWF. Oh, it's the Big Slow. But because of his size, and Arnold watched wrestling. He was on wrestling a few times, and this little guy here is Vern Troyer, who would be Mini-Me in Austin Powers 2 and 3. Rest in peace, Vern Troyer. There goes Vern Troyer. Fuck you trying to do, Santa? Fuck out of here. Oh, watch it. Oh yeah, you can't take them on one at a time. You got dogpile them, you sorry sons of bitches. Now see, if this, you better be fucking glad this isn't the commando himself. You better be goddamn lucky. If it was John Matrix, he would have cut your heads off and your arms off. And the thing is, you can buy this guy, you can buy Arnold as a cop. Like, you could buy him as a police officer. And it makes sense, just he's played cops in multiple films, so he would have, it's not like, it does make you wonder if, how many cops actually do check an ID badge to see how real or not real it is. Of course it goes empty. Just he can't catch a break. He cannot catch a break no matter what. He's been knocked out. He's been bitten. He's been looked at as a pervert. He loses his gas. This is a 5.7 IMDb. I think that's a bit too low. I think that's way too low. Alan is nearly that bad. But what, did they not hear the kid saying out loud, maybe your parents should get divorced? You got wax in your ears? Oh, this one he accidentally yells at his kid, but and I can't really blame Arnold because the kid's like, listen, gotta talk to your mother, man. Jamie, please let me talk to your mother. It's like this. Even I'm getting annoyed. So I don't blame Arnold. But yeah, I get why he feels bad for it. And I think he's a character that means well, but he just screws up from time to time. And see, it's that initial regret. He didn't have to be told to be regretful. He didn't have to be told by someone you did something wrong. That happens with everybody. People snap and see, I like the way that was handled because it was, like I said, it wasn't, oh, someone has to tell him. It's that initial regret, like, oh, man. And trying to apologize at just being too late. And Sinbad, I mean, he had a good nature to him. I think sadly just the roles he picked, like, well, I mean, this is I think a fun movie and it didn't do well, but I think that was kind of the last chance for Sinbad, sadly. Because at least he had done films he was a star of. They didn't do well. House Guest, First Kid. Then you get with Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the biggest stars in the world, and when that doesn't do well, then people are like, sorry, dude. Maybe to be in Good Burger, but that's it. And I thought Arnold, he does a nice job explaining this clubhouse and this excitement and wonder and glee. Just like he really is remembering a fond memory between him and his kid. So let me look at some trivia. The world premiere was actually at the Mall of America, and Arnold donated memorabilia from the film to the mall's Planet Hollywood. Wonder if that even exists, that Planet Hollywood. In March 2001, a U.S. District Court jury in Birmingham, Michigan, ruled that 20th Century Fox stole the script idea from Detroit high school biology teacher Brian Webster. The studio was ordered to pay $19 million, later reduced to $1.5 million. Webster submitted the script, then named Could This Be Christmas, to the studio in 1994, and never received payment nor credit despite the film making $129 million worldwide. 20th Century Fox appealed and the verdict was reversed since Webster's script was submitted after the studio had already purchased a treatment of what would become the movie's script. Wait, so the verdict was reversed, so they didn't have to pay. That the verdict was reversed. Huh. So he sued. The studio was supposed to pay from 19 million to 1.5 million, and then it was reversed. So I guess they didn't have to pay. Well, that's the thing, is that there are times that has happened, but when you have so many people, some similar ideas are going to pop up. That's just how it is. It doesn't automatically mean you ripped it off. Idea when how many millions and millions of people, and if any of them have an idea, even if they're submitting a script. Arnold was poor. Well, no, he wasn't poor because he was paid a reported $20 million for the role. It's fine. I was wondering how this film cost like 70, 75 million. How? Well, if 20 million went to Arnold, that alone is a good chunk of it. That's like a fourth of the budget. Over a fourth of the budget. The extra scene after the end credits was written to set the stage for a possible sequel. Yeah, that never came to be. Well, there was a sequel, but with Larry the Cable Guy. Of course, again to his radio station. Have a good time, bye. Getting right to his radio station. Tim Allen was considered for the lead role. That's understandable because Tim Allen was doing films like The Santa Claus around this time. And this radio guy is Martin Mull. Martin Mull would be in quite a few films. In fact, he was in a film I reviewed recently called Clue, which was a great movie from the 80s. As Colonel Mustard. The director was on a podcast for Gilbert Gottfried. Like, Gilbert Gottfried has a podcast. Brian Levant was on there, and he said that this movie put him in director jail when it was first released. But as time passed, he was pleasantly surprised to see the film's shelf life improve with time. Over the years, the director's been asked to autograph various VHS copies and homemade mementos of the film. He returned to director's jail in 2012 when he helmed the direct-to-video sequel, A Christmas Story. Well, there you go. And apparently Phil Hartman was considered for Myron, but the reading felt off. But when he read for Ted, the director said Phil Hartman was pitch perfect. He said during the production, Phil Hartman drove onto the studio in a Ferrari, drove up alongside the director, rolled the window down, and said, "Do you know where crew parking is?" So, yeah, Phil Hartman seemed like a very cool guy. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at any other trivia. Yeah, I did not know that Phil Hartman was up for this role. The Sinbad role. The only comedy Arnold ever did without Danny DeVito or Ivan Reitman. Yeah, that's true. But it is better than Junior. Ready to net that punch. But yes, you did say you had one. Eventually. That's bullshit. A gift certificate? What the fuck? Now they're ready to punch him out. Now, Christmas movies, they're not really a thing nowadays, it seems like, because I'm trying to think of the last Christmas movie. I mean, I guess the one with Kurt Russell as Santa. There was, what, the Christmas Chronicles? Is that what it was called? I'm bad with titles. I remember liking the first one. I didn't see the second one. But other than maybe on direct to VOD or Lifetime channel, you don't really see stuff dealing with Christmas. I mean, years before that, you had stuff like Ghost of Girlfriend's Past with Matthew McConaughey. But yeah, Christmas or a Christmas movie is not really a big thing nowadays, especially in a mainstream big budget fashion. Now, no, we got that Christmas season. Well, Spider-Man: No Way Home and Matrix 4, or maybe Lord of the Rings films. It was back in the day, and the Hobbit films, Star Wars. You know, it's just okay. Let's make a big budget blockbuster movie. But yeah, you don't really have a lot of stuff for Christmas. Like back in the day, you had Ernest Saves Christmas, and you had this film here, and the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, and that kind of movie. This is a fun bit where it goes off, and even Sinbad himself is surprised. There's some sick people in the world. Sick. No, it's the little gas can for his vehicle. It doesn't matter. Merry Christmas with an I. I'm just laughing because you look at just that fucking car. There's just nothing left. Stripped to shit. I guess, I mean, there's no point having it stay there. And that's where he's finally lost it. That son of a bitch. A model day is in my house. Put a my star on my tree. And how this, I mean, in a way, this a take on how materialism, consumerism can overload you and overbear you to doing things you shouldn't be doing because you're so honed in on it, and you realize, wait a minute, this is not what really matters. It isn't. There's much more important stuff than that in life and in the world. God, what the hell was I going to say? That's a nice good little detail that his knuckles are bloodied up from some of the stuff that's happened throughout the day. I don't know, that's just a nice little detail where he's trying to get in the door with the credit card, like the knuckles are getting bruised, bloodied up. I mean, I don't know if you'll see him in these wider shots with Arnold. I don't think so, but, you know, the up close. Which makes me wonder why did they do that? Because I think if you look at the wider shots, they don't appear like that. And this is another thing, is that, you know, this is an awful thing to do, but again, he stops himself and he doesn't have to be told the message. He doesn't have to be told the morality. It's a character coming to the conclusion himself, thus makes it a bit more endearing, the fact of it's important when you figure it out yourself, more so than if someone has to literally dictate and tell you about the whole thing. I think they do some really nice stuff with the reindeer here. There's some really nice, like, animatronic puppetry work, however you want to call it. Obviously, some shots is just an actual reindeer, but I think the puppetry work is fairly well done. Oh yeah, he tries to get it, he accidentally kicks it out the window. I mean, he's trying. That's a bad thing. Use the stocking. Like, come on, man. I remember, it's when he accidentally kicks it. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Shit. Like shit. Whoops. Like shit. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Oh shit. Just a bad. This is just a bad look, man. It's a bad look. It's a bad call, Ripley. It's a bad call. I mean, if you don't get into a hole, you're just digging yourself a hole ready for China. But I was talking about, like, Christmas movies, like Ernest Saves Christmas, and, you know, as a kid I grew up with Christmas movies. Scrooged is one of my favorites. This would probably be in my top 5. Like I said, I like Scrooged with Bill Murray. This one, Ernest Saves Christmas, is a fun one. Which I don't think that would ever got a Blu-ray. Ernest Saves Christmas. But I don't know what else would be in my top 5, but I think nowadays, I was on this they're nice guys, deadpit.com, CK and Uncle Bill, Wes and Aaron, their show on YouTube, and they were doing a commentary on Ernest Saves Christmas, and they invited me to be part of it. Look at that, Arnold knocks the fuck out of a reindeer. You started it. I mean, how many movies you don't see Arnold punch the fuck out of a reindeer? Is that the first time he punched out an animal, too? He punched out a camel in Conan. So, little nod to that. But I was asking this on their show when we were doing the commentary for Ernest Saves Christmas, going, what do kids feel about Santa Claus of today? You know, do kids believe in Santa? Do they ever think about Santa? Because the day and age of the internet, you could go on the internet, I mean, kids who are 10, 11 years old have a fucking cell phone. I mean, there are kids that are 11 years old and they get one of these at 11. I'm like, I didn't try a computer out until I was like fucking 17, and I was in school. 16 maybe, 17, if that. I mean, and didn't have. I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't have a fucking cell phone until like 5 years ago. No, less than that. I did not have a cell phone until 3 years ago? Maybe 4? It was like 3 years ago. That's when I got my first cell phone. This is actually this one here. I'll mention, this was the first cell phone I got, this small thing. And then this was outdated, so then I got this one. It's bigger. It is much better though. The Galaxy A32. It is much better. It works better. The signal works better, so it was worth it. But that shows how far I am off the reservation, so to speak. But fuck, now there are kids that are 10, 11 that have that fucking thing, and it's like in 5 minutes, what's Santa Claus? Oh, Santa Claus isn't real. So I just wonder, like, for anyone who's a parent, do your kids, did they ever believe in Santa in this day and age? Or did they find out real quicker? I mean, I don't know. Now you have this parade where you have quite a bit of some recognizable. I saw Bert and Ernie. Shut up, stomach. I think I saw Snoopy. Leonardo from Ninja Turtles. Where are the other turtles? There's Sonic the Hedgehog. Gumby. Cabbage Patch. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Is it Madeline? Cat in the Hat. Your movie sucked. But that was Mike Myers' fault. I always wonder about like copyright too. Like, are you able to utilize copyright with those characters? But I never know what are the fine details concerning that. What you can and can't use for a movie. What you have to pay for and not have to pay for. And fuck if I know on all that shit. Because I don't know most or any of that shit. I really don't. Not one damn fucking bit. But it is what it is. What it was, what it were, what it am. I can see in your eyes. You can't see shit. But yeah, rest in peace, Phil Hartman. When did he pass away? Because, was it Small Soldiers was 90... Was that 98? Can't remember if that was 98 or... I want to say it was 98 and that was released after he passed away. May 1998 he passed away. And I mean, I know this is sad, but this is the part of it. Phil Hartman was married to Bryn. They had 2 kids. Bryn had drug use and domestic violence against Phil. In 1998, Hartman was sleeping in his bed. His wife shot and killed him and later committed suicide. Which, I mean, to be honest, usually you hear about that the other way around, but this is very tragic. I mean, you're married to someone who does drugs, who abuses you, and then murdered you. And the kids too. Like, how the hell do you explain that? Your mom murdered your dad. But I mean, everyone always said he was a very nice guy, genuine guy. He was on the TV show News Radio. Man. Phil Hartman wrote a screenplay in 1986 called Mr. Fix-It about an American family that live next to a toxic dump site. The water supply is poisoned. The mother and son go insane and try to murder each other. The father's face is torn off in a terrible disfiguring accident in the first act. It's heavy stuff, but it's got a good message and a positive, upbeat ending. And he wanted to work with Robert Zemeckis to at least produce it. But no studio wanted it, and the project collapsed. Never heard of that before, but that's interesting. Now, if this is Curtis Armstrong, Booger from Revenge of the Nerds, as the man in the pink outfit. Well, I mean, in the suit that this fucking booster. Because the pink outfit could be other types of outfits, but this is the booster. It's like, yeah, we need you to take care of business, dude. Take care of some fucking business. Yeah, and yeah, it's a very silly, over-the-top ending. Some people got mad about this. I mean, some of the effect scenes are a bit dodgy compared to today, but like I said, this is not a comedy that's supposed to be like. There are different types of comedies. There's some sillier than others, and it's Scrooged is outside the realm of reality. So is Ernest Saves Christmas. A lot of Christmas movies are. So is the zaniness of the proceedings for kids to enjoy, but also there's a lot of stuff for parents to enjoy as well. And it's good for kids. I think this is rated PG. Actually, I don't know. If it was rated PG-13, I don't know why, because there's really nothing in it that bad for. See, what is rated? Arnold catches on quick on what he needs to. Yeah, rated PG. And thank God they have that visor, otherwise they'd be like, why does no one recognize who this guy is? But that's why. Fuck you, Booster. I'll do what the fuck I want. Finally got the Turbo Man doll. But this is a pretty damn big parade you have to set up. I imagine if there's any issues or any problems, would you have to back the whole fucking thing up and do it again? Or is it like, you know what, just film the parade, keep going, and. But probably this stuff is more on a stage. Step down and give it to him. I'm sure people are like, how the fuck do you know his name? Some people, this is rigged, man. This is rigged. How the fuck did he know his name? Of course it's rigged. This is a setup. This is bullshit. It's like everything. All these contests are bullshit. They fucking lied. This was set up beforehand. There was no random choice. This is bullshit. This is a fucking ripoff. This fuck these fucking people. The fucking shit. Fuck Booster. Fuck your pinkness. Fuck all the dots on your pink parts, Booster. I mean, that's not a bad suit for a parade that could actually blink. And there's Sinbad. Just fucking. I mean, Sinbad's fun in this. Yeah, sorry, now I'm just being silent watching it. That's not what the point of a commentary is. You know what? Nobody likes you, Booster. Exactly. Get the fuck out. Not the fuck out. I didn't. For a suit that actually blinked, that's actually, you know. That's not too bad. Damn, that knocked him the hell out. And of course, for the people, they think this is part of an ad, so they don't quite know it yet. I mean, I guess the crowd wouldn't really know. They would think this was part of an ad, so it does kind of make sense on that front. But yeah, for a parade, these are pretty intricate suits. They shoot the disc out here. Yeah, that looks definitely CGI. But I mean, you're hitting them that fast into an actor's face that could easily break your nose and give a bunch of welts and cuts on your face, so that's why it's CG. If you try to do a foam, now these are trying to be like the putties from Power Rangers, but they have the colors of the Power Rangers. Like you look, it's like imagine if the putties stole the Power Ranger suits. Like you have the one's yellow, one's blue, one's red. Uh, what were the other colors? Yeah, gray, green. But in this case, it's like, hey, maybe they figure, hey, it's Arnold. Give him to a bit of an action sequence. This cop's just a fucking idiot. This is a dumb question, but do cops have the American flag on their shoulder like that? I mean, I know it's a dumb question, but like I saw the cop there. He's got like an American flag right here. Is that a typical thing for cops to have the American flag on there? If anyone knows, let me know. I'm curious. I mean, it's cool that you have the American flag. Just wondering if there's a particular reason for that. Now he's the Rocketeer. Again, it just when you're enjoying. Again, I may not like Arnold nowadays with what he says, but I did like him as an actor, a personality, and again, these effects don't hold up that well. They're clunky, but for the time, you talk about like the budget. Some of that budget definitely went into this scene, and the intention is goofy and fun. You know, slapstick. This is not a movie that's meant to be realistic. Not every fucking film needs to be realistic. It doesn't. And if like certain movies, they know what they are and they go along with it. There are movies that think and pretend to be realistic. Then they do stuff that's completely stupid, but then they try to go, no, wait, guys, we really are realistic. This movie obviously isn't. It's Home Alone, that type of movie where it's just meant for entertainment. See, nowadays they probably have the actual puke be shown, but we don't need that. It's kind of hard to do all this without these type of effects. With all these different herky movements, and it's not supposed to be smooth. It's not supposed to be in a fine line like Superman the movie, that type of stuff. It's a guy who doesn't know how to control this stuff, and what do you do? I guess the crowd still thinks it's a part of the show. Like no one is like real. Hey, this is a bit dangerous. There you go. Right back at you. And really, one of the only times you would see Arnold as a superhero in a way in this type of suit. Well, no, that's not true. Batman and Robin. He was Mr. Freeze. But okay, that was a villain, but as a hero in a suit, it would be this. And I guess that kind of crosses another thing off Arnold's list. To play a hero in a superhero suit, Jingle All the Way was able to accomplish that. So, probably the closest you would ever get to that. And Arnold, I don't know what he's doing nowadays. At one point, there's talks of him doing Kung Fury 2. There's talks of him being in the Toxic Avenger remake. There's all this talk of other stuff, and he did that last, Terminator movie, which was awful. Oh, I'm going to do another Twins sequel. Ivan Reitman's gone. You guys, you're too old. Why do you want to see 70-year-old twins? I just, Arnold, just retire, man. Just retire. I thought this was actually a nice part. The kid blames himself. We had a fight on the phone, and I yelled at him. And that made the kid less of a brat. And I thought, again, that's little choices like that. I think, okay, that was the right choice in terms of writing, or that was the right choice in terms of, it makes a kid less of a brat and that type of thinking. Of course, here's the cop we've been seeing from time to time, and and Arnold knows it. It's like this cop can't say anything about it. It's like, hey, remember me? I'm sorry about the bike and the coffee, and the bus and the bomb. And this is what it gets with the message: is that it's not about the materialism, and this is why the kid gives the doll away. Because like, oh, he doesn't deserve it. Fuck it. But it's like, it's not so much that, oh, this guy's getting a payment for. I'd be like, you want it? Then smash it on the ground. Fuck you, buddy. Yeah, I got the real Turbo Man at home. And he mentioned at the coffee shop that, I built this clubhouse and I felt like a hero that day, and now he's reliving that moment. Being able to feel like a hero for the day. Sinbad, don't smile. You don't go to jail anyway. And that's the end of the movie. Kind of like a real quick cut to the credits, I'll say that. I think in the extended cut, it's a bit longer. I think in the extended cut, like there's a bit at, I think there's a little bit more to, at, I believe so. Yeah, I'm fast forwarding to the end. I think in the extended cut, this is added back to the ending. Arnold putting the star on the tree. And in this is after the end credits. Howard, I've been thinking. Everything that you went through today for Jamie shows how much you love him. So what did you get for me? Yeah. What did you get me? But yeah, I can't remember if the extended. Well, I'll just check real quick. I mean, I got the DVD here. Let me just check real quick. Because when the end credits start, it's like an hour and 22 minutes. So, and then the extended cut is an hour and. It was an hour and 29. This extended cut is an hour and 33. And God, I'm not going to remember all the details for those 3 minutes. I think during the Santa shop there's an extended scene. I think so. Yeah, there's a bit where Belushi and the crew are all singing the song. That's Santa Claus. Yeah, there's a whole sing and dance here. I'm so sorry for that laddie. He hasn't got a daddy. That little boy that Santa Claus forgot. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it fucking sucks. There's a reason why it was cut out. That's why, I prefer a theatrical cut. Like, there is an initial reason why this shit was cut out in the first place, stuff like that. I'm like, no, that was cut out for a reason. That did not need to be put back in. It's like, well, it's a selling point for people, so just fucking do it. I'm like, okay, it could be a selling point all you want, but it still sucks. I can't remember all the other details as to what was extended. Yeah, in the extended cut, that ending is put... Okay, in the extended cut, the ending after the end credits is put into the ending of the movie in the extended cut. The house, the star put on... Okay. Because again, the last time I saw this was the extended cut. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, okay. Sorry, I confused people. And the theatrical cut, this whole bit where the wife is at Rita Wilson's asked, "Where's my present?" That's after the end credits. And the extended cut, they put it with the ending, which that's an extension that's fine, because that way the ending and theatrical cut seems a bit too abrupt. They cut to the credits. But as for other special features, let me check real quick. There's the making of a hero. How long is this? This is 15 minutes long from back in the day. That's more about the, I guess, the suit. Super Kids? Hell's that? What the hell is the Super Kids? It's a bunch of kids talking about, I guess, superheroes they would create. Why the hell is this on the DVD? None of these kids are in the movie. Never heard of these fucking kids before. It's like a bunch of random kids talking about random heroes I guess they thought of. Why is this part of the fucking... It's like if I found a fucking random clip on YouTube and put it on the special features. Games? What games? Christmas Rush. Guess the gift. Christmas Rush. Find the last Turbo Man. Do this without getting blocked. Then exit the store to win. Really? Really? So you're in a store, and you move from aisle to aisle, and you can go forward, find a Turbo Man, and don't get blocked. Okay. And some random scene where there's a doll pile popped up. Fucking whatever. Fucking stupid. Yeah, back to the day when they try to... Here's some DVD games you play, and they all sucked. It's like, no, give me features, give me interviews, give me commentaries. Not the fucking game that's... It's like that Ninja Turtles, that stupid sewer maze game. And like, hey, can I have an interview instead? Can I have a commentary instead? Not a stupid sewer game that no one plays. Anyway, sorry, just going through the DVD of that. But yeah, with that said, fun film. Good cast. Arnold is having a lot of fun. Sinbad, Rita Wilson, Phil Hartman, rest in peace. When that fast pace is only 90 minutes long, if that. I mean, if you watch the theatrical cut, hour and 22 minutes. And again, it's a nice tale of how materialism is not all the end all be all. So it's got a decent enough heart to it, and some good laughs, and you know, it's a fun Christmas movie to show to your kids. Rated PG. There's no fart jokes, shit jokes, piss jokes. None of that stupidity. Just slapstick, which I am a sucker for, if done well. And I think it's an underrated Arnold comedy. I don't think it's as bad as people made out to be. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.